Hello folks, today is Friday, September 24th, 2021. As usual, my name is Jake Baldino, here to talk about all the video game news that has been going on this week. And it's a wild one for a lot of reasons from beginning to end. But before we jump in, this first quick story, I thought some of you guys maybe would find this interesting, especially some of the more console competition, console war fans. You always hear the question, when is Sony gonna compete with Game Pass? When is there going to be a PlayStation Game Pass type of thing? Are they even going to do that? Well, a little tiny thing, a tweet from an ex-PlayStation head might at least give you some idea of what they're thinking. The other day, ex-Sony CEO Shawn Layden, who you probably remember, he was a big wig for quite a while, he tweeted an article talking about the subscriber model, specifically with Spotify and how subscription and revenue, how that all, all that smart guy stuff. But he said specifically in the tweet, and I quote, "Turning a profit with an entertainment streaming service platform is extremely hard and complicated, not to mention the drastic reduction in revenue for creators." Not judging, just typing. Is he shedding light on the argument that some people make that, Xbox throwing all this money at Game Pass isn't sustainable? That's a theory by many folks. Really, all this points to is that, at least at the time during Shawn Layden's reign, this maybe was the thinking internally at Sony. Does that change? Everything changes all the time, but I thought this was kind of interesting. Just a little thing. Boy, the other big thing this week, though, let's talk about some leaks. Take these, of course, all with a grain of salt, but now multiple sources are corroborating something that was originally said by French YouTuber Gautoz. I'm not good at pronunciation, I'm sorry, but this was from him and then backed by other unnamed sources and sites familiar with this stuff. A new Star Wars game in the works, specifically from Quantic Dream, the David Cage studio behind stuff most recently like Detroit Become Human, one of my favorites, Indigo Prophecy, Heavy Rain, stuff like that, which marks a pretty impressive shift or change for that studio, especially because the reports are suggesting that this isn't exactly what you'd expect a David Cage Quantic Dream style cinematic game, but more of a traditional game with action elements and possibly an open world. So, is there another open world Star Wars game in the mix? Maybe. This has apparently been worked on for like a year and a half. If this is true, of course, this is just another of the many projects that are slowly rolling out as EA and Star Wars' exclusivity ends. And I actually think that some of the reaction to this has been a little divisive because, you have some people who really enjoy Quantic Dream games. Other people find them incredibly cringeworthy. I fall on the side where most of the time I really enjoy them, but that's just me. Also, at this point, you guys also know I'm a diehard Star Wars fan. I'm gonna try anything Star Wars and at least hope for the best. So yeah, I guess we'll just have to wait and see. But again, linked it in the description down below. But what I wanna hear from you guys specifically is, if you're a fan of that studio, and maybe you're a fan of Star Wars, what kind of game do you want to see them make? Do you want them to approach Jedi stuff? Maybe space battle stuff? The underworld stuff? Criminal stuff? Who knows? Let's talk. What kind of Quantic Dream Star Wars game could you dream of? Next up, of course, we gotta talk about the Nintendo Direct. There's so much that came out from this Direct. Pretty nice. It was pretty exciting. This dropped yesterday, Thursday, if you're watching this on Friday, and we got a bunch of stuff, so let me run it all down. The first is a new Kirby game, a fully 3D, seemingly maybe sort of open world Kirby game. It's called Kirby and the Forgotten Land. I just like the idea of playing as Kirby in seemingly the remnants, the hollowed out husk of human civilization. It's very, very Kirby. Also, there is a big new update for Animal Crossing, apparently coming in November. Along with that, a Monster Hunter Rise expansion, a pretty big, significant one, is also coming this year. The original KOTOR, Knights of the Old Republic, is on Nintendo Switch, which is excellent because there's still so many people out there who haven't experienced that game. Some of you younger whippersnappers out there. There's a Mario Kart competitor coming out called Chocobo GP, which is essentially Mario Kart Final Fantasy, which I am surprisingly very much all about. There's kind of like a remake or a refresh of the old classic ActRaiser. It's called ActRaiser Renaissance, and that's out now. I'm probably gonna jump into that this weekend because just judging from what we can see and like the new versions of the music and you can have the old versions of the music and the graphics and stuff, I'm very much into this. Also, there's a Castlevania Advanced Collection that was leaked like a week or so, and that's out now. It's like $20. But for me, for your boy, the end of the presentation, of course, was a new look at Bayonetta 3. Bayonetta 3 was announced in 2017 and went completely dark. This Platinum game, myself, I've really been looking forward to this. I've been dying to see something new. Bayonetta 2 was incredible. I just like those games. I like those action games. And we got gameplay here. We got some over-the-top elements, a new look for the titular character herself, as well as seemingly being able to transform into a bunch of different demons and do crazy stuff. It's awesome. It's ridiculous. I really hope it's good. I'm just glad it still exists and they're still working on it. We talked about it as a news story like 2 or 3 weeks back. Oh, and also separately, it's definitely worth mentioning the Nintendo Switch Online stuff. So Nintendo is going to be offering games to play through Nintendo Switch Online that are from Nintendo 64 and, believe it or not, Sega Genesis. Unfortunately, this is going to be an add-on to your Nintendo Online subscription. It's like an expansion pass, so you're gonna have to pay more. We don't know exactly how much yet, which is a bummer, but you're getting access to a whole slate of games. They are on screen here, from stuff you'd expect, like Super Mario 64, Ocarina of Time, Star Fox 64, Mario Tennis. Also, Winback is on there, which, as a fan of cheesy old late 90s, early 2000s crappy third-person shooters, I'm in. But yeah, along with this, they're also selling their own properly branded pairing to Nintendo Switch, Nintendo 64 controllers, and Sega Genesis controllers, which is so weird to spend $50 on a Sega Genesis Nintendo controller. What a weird ass world we live in. Gaming news always is just interesting. So what do you think about this stuff? I want to hear from you. Everybody's all over the place, from the Nintendo Switch Online stuff to all of the Nintendo Direct announcements. Definitely let us know in the comments like what you find the most interesting, just so we know what types of videos to focus on in the future. Now, next up, this episode is brought to you by nothing at all. Just you guys. Just wanted to say every once in a while, thank you very much. Thank you for dealing with our sponsors, whether you click or skip. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching through social media, Discords, all that stuff. Myself and everybody here just says thanks for being around. Appreciate it. Now, let's talk about some special things worth highlighting. They're all linked in the description down below. The first is actually a fundraiser you guys should check out. It's going to be going on this Saturday. If you're watching this on Friday, this is from our friends at AbleGamers Brazil. Yes, we've talked about AbleGamers and how they raise money and develop technology for disabled gamers, but there's actually a Brazil division. And I know some of you guys out there who watch this show are from Brazil, and I know you guys show up, so I wanted to put this on your radar. They're good folks, they're doing good work, and they're doing a fundraiser, so that will be linked in the description. Go check it out. Also, this is just totally off topic, but kind of funny, and I wanted to share. I found this on Twitter. So there's like a new, more robotic colonoscopy technology. Colonoscopy? Is that how you say it? But it is operated by a controller. It's like a bootleg Mad Catz style controller, but there's like a button layout screen and everything. I don't know, I just thought it was wild, and I love it. Not the colonoscopy part, but just saying. Also, something that kind of flew under the radar this week was an announcement for a Disney Classic Games collection. This is a collection for like weird 90s kids like myself, so it comes with the previously released and redone Lion King, Aladdin, and now The Jungle Book in one cool little package. It sounds stupid, but they were like actually legitimately good games. And the studio behind the collection, like they put the work in to restoring this stuff. It's legit and worth highlighting and celebrating. Also, Kena Bridge of Spirits released this week. I absolutely really enjoyed it. It's got a couple flaws, but we linked our Before You Buy video down in the description if you want to check that out. A lot of people didn't realize it's releasing this week, so I just wanted to put that out there. Also, Death Stranding Director's Cut, the PS5 version of the game is also out, so we linked the launch trailer for that, and Diablo 2, which is something I am scared to jump back into as like an addiction, as an addictive person. I can't do it again. Also, a trailer for a game visually that has been catching my eye, Sable. Look at this. This is just so wild, and it's been reviewing very well. Shout out to SkillUp, friend of the show. He seemed to really like it. That put it on my radar, so I might check that out this weekend. But the last big story we got to talk about, you know I saved it for last. You know I love talking about movies. It's the Super Mario Brothers movie and the official cast reveal. So this is crazy. So at the very least, it's cool that Nintendo revealed it directly to fans, us, through the Nintendo Direct and not just like a Hollywood press release. But the voice cast is as follows. Mario himself is going to be voiced by Chris Pratt. Peach is voiced by Anya Taylor-Joy. Shout out to her in the chess show. I really like that. Charlie Day is Luigi. Jack Black is Bowser. Keegan-Michael Key is Toad, and Donkey Kong's gonna be in the movie, and he's voiced by Seth Rogen. They do have Charles the Legend, you know, the original Mario voice actor, involved in some way in cameos or something. Maybe it's a half step or a compromise, I don't know. There's a lot to dive into here with that. I am actually, I 50% hate it, 50% I go, oh, okay. I think there's more room for that on the other channel. I'm sure everybody's really divided on this, or just angry, and that's fine. I think there's a lot at stake with this movie in terms of who's involved, the fact that Nintendo is ushering this out there. That's big for them. They've never done something like this before. I mean, except for the old movie, but ugh. I'm looking forward to hearing your thoughts and spirited debate, but it's also worth pointing out that this movie is dropping holiday 2022. That's what we know. And that's all the news this week that we wanted to highlight, just some fun stuff. So let us know in the comments, like I said, what you're thinking of everything. Obviously the Mario voice cast, but also what do you think about the Sony comments about a Game Pass type thing? What do you think about the Nintendo Direct? What was your favorite part? The Star Wars game? Let's talk anything down in the comments. It does get a little crazy. We will be down there as much as possible, but if you want to yell at me directly, of course, you can always find me on Twitter and Instagram at Jake Baldino or youtube.com/Jake Baldino. But like I said in the middle of the video, thank you guys for being here every Friday. Hopefully you appreciate and get caught up on the news. We have a blast. So all you got to do is click the like button. It really helps us. That's it. Thanks. But I'm Jake Baldino. Thanks for watching. Pizza's on me. Have a lovely weekend. I mean it.